5 versus 5. We will finish it maybe in this week with big surprise, and then let's see the result about this fight and the result of the big fight 21 of December, Usyk Tyson.
Okay, so you got a lot of big plans.
Yeah.
This is another level. This is a really dangerous. He ain't fighting a granddad. He isn't fighting a grandfather. It's absolutely lunacy. It's insane.
To you, Alan, about AJ fighting Jake Paul, if I'm honest. Yeah. It's definitely a fight that we are talking about. It's definitely a fight that is fairly...
Like I say, I hope Jake Paul is mad enough and he picks Anthony Joshua, you know, because I don't think he's that mental.
Turki Alalshikh confirms the Anthony Joshua vs Jake Paul fight after Jake Paul's bout with Gervonta Davis was cancelled due to allegations against Davis. Anthony Joshua now steps in for a major heavyweight showdown, and fans are excited to see Joshua dominate Jake Paul in the ring. Duke McKenzie says this fight is very dangerous because a trained athlete at 18 stone is facing a much smaller guy. He believes Jake Paul has not earned the right to face Anthony Joshua and has not beaten any top heavyweight, which makes this matchup risky and one-sided.
Right, I don't believe to fight Anthony Joshua. It's not like he's beaten, 4 or 5, top-line heavyweights, other heavyweights. I don't believe he's boxed any heavyweights.
Eddie Hearn warns that Anthony Joshua taking on Jake Paul is extremely dangerous. He says AJ will take Jake Paul's head clean off his shoulders, and this is not something a top 50 cruiserweight normally deals with. The risk is obvious, and this fight is a serious test for Jake Paul.
Like that. But I said to Jake Paul, you ain't in a box, mate, and this ain't David Blaine. I said, so just be careful, because AJ will take your head clean off your shoulders, and it's dangerous.
Yeah.
And you take on that responsibility, and we all have to, so we've got to think about that. But this is Anthony fighting a top 50 cruiserweight in the world. It's not something that we would normally do.
Tony Bello calls the fight a clear mismatch and says Jake Paul's health is at serious risk. He believes it is crazy that money is being put ahead of safety and warns this is a dangerous move. Anthony Joshua has the power and experience to take full control of this fight.
The ring it's just a gross mismatch.
Yeah.
Like, you don't understand his health is in jeopardy. So, I'm not even entertaining it. I just think it's dangerous. And listen, I might have to work it, but it's just...
It's kind of ludicrous, isn't it? Really?
It's insane. This boy is nuts. He's nuts, and I think he's putting his life before he's putting his life before.
Derek Chisora warns that Anthony Joshua must finish Jake Paul quickly or risk thinking about it forever. He says AJ has the skill and power to end the fight within 3 rounds. Jake Paul cannot match Joshua's experience or knockout strength.
But I will say this to AJ, don't let that guy knock you out, because that will be fucking nightmares forever. But 1 or 2, put it this way, AJ has to kill him.
Spencer Oliver says Anthony Joshua sees the fight with Jake Paul as easy money. He agrees fans may not like it, but says Joshua is focused on earning and the financial side. At this point in his career it may not be needed, but Joshua's intention is clear.
Well, Anthony Joshua is talking about wanting warm-up fights before going into bigger fights, but look, it's prize fighting at the end of the day, and the way that Joshua will see it, and Matchroom and all the team, the fans won't like this, by the way.
I don't like it.
No, I don't like it either. But the way that Joshua will see it is as a money grab. He'll see it as an easy money grab, but at this stage of his career, is it a fight he should be taking?
Johnny Nelson says if he were in Anthony Joshua's place he would take the Jake Paul fight for the money. He admits the matchup is not serious in terms of competition, but says Jake Paul has done a great job creating hype. Joshua gets both reward and a simple challenge.
If I was AJ at this stage of his career, I'd take Jake Paul. I'd take Jake Paul because there's more money there. If it was real, I don't think it's real. I think it's bullshit. I think Jake Paul I think it's bullshit. I think it's Jake Paul.
Tyson Fury says Jake Paul could knock Anthony Joshua out and calls AJ a finished fighter. He thinks Jake Paul is improving and likes his new heavyweight size. Still, Anthony Joshua's experience and power are on another level. Fury's comments add drama, but Joshua has faced top heavyweights and his skills are far ahead of anything Jake Paul has shown. This fight is a big risk for Jake Paul, and fans expect Joshua to dominate despite Fury's bold words.
I don't know about tune-up. I think Jake Paul knocks him out.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why so? What impresses you about Jake Paul?
I just think Jake Paul would knock AJ out. I think AJ's a spent force, and I think Jake Paul's on the rise. And I like his new heavyweight look.
Simon Jordan says he wants to see Anthony Joshua knock out Jake Paul clearly, and even jokes he could send him into the next movie. He admits the fight may not matter much for Joshua, who is focused on bigger names like Tyson Fury. Joshua has the experience to make Jake Paul look inexperienced. This fight is more about entertainment and money than testing AJ. Fans know Joshua can win easily, but Jake Paul's hype keeps people talking about who really has the edge.
I'd like to see him knock Jake Paul into the next round. But in the reality of what I think it's worth, no. I am moderately interested in seeing him fight Tyson Fury, because I think it's the only boxer left up.
Tommy Fury is sure Anthony Joshua would destroy Jake Paul without any trouble. He even jokes that AJ could beat him in any situation and still finish the fight in under a minute. This shows how much stronger and more experienced Joshua is compared to Jake Paul's limited professional background. Fans know AJ is in a completely different league. Jake Paul may have fame, but facing a former world heavyweight champion is a challenge he is not ready for. Joshua's ability to dominate makes this fight look one-sided.
But if I can beat Jake Paul, then excuse my French, what the fuck is Anthony Joshua going to do to Jake Paul? I think my dad said that AJ could beat him with his prick, and I completely will back that up. Even if AJ had a broken arm in there, it still wouldn't go past him.
Derek Kizora says Jake Paul does not have the power to knock out Anthony Joshua. He predicts that if anything goes wrong, Jake Paul could end up in an ambulance. This shows the huge gap in strength and experience between them. Fans expect Joshua to control the whole fight and use his ring knowledge to dominate every round. Jake Paul brings attention, but Anthony Joshua is far ahead and can end the fight easily.
Whatever happened to be exciting?
Does he have the power to knock out Joshua?
Nah, he hasn't got the power to knock out Joshua.
How does that fight end?
Jake Paul going to an ambulance, bro.
Jake Paul says he likes the challenge of fighting Anthony Joshua and knows people want to see him lose. He calls AJ a crazy matchup but seems ready to step in. Even with his confidence, fans know Joshua's experience, power, and skills make him the clear favorite. Jake Paul may have hype and social media pull, but Anthony Joshua is a proven former world champion who can expose all weaknesses. The fight will be a big show, but the skill gap heavily favors Joshua.
And so I like the challenge. People, that's the criticism. Fight someone in their prime who's a beast. I think people just want to see me lose. That's really what the message is behind it all. And Anthony Joshua is an insane fight, but I want that challenge. We've been DMing back and forth. He wants to make it happen.
Logan Paul says the idea of this fight is wild because Anthony Joshua is a world-class heavyweight. He reminds people how Joshua knocked out Francis Ngannou, a fighter who had never been dropped before. This shows AJ's huge power. Facing Jake Paul, who is still learning, is unrealistic because the skill gap is massive. Logan says the matchup is more about hype than a real challenge. Fans know Joshua can end fights quickly, and Jake Paul stepping in is more of a spectacle than true competition.
The Joshua thing is crazy.
Is that a real conversation?
Jake's a fucking lunatic, and it's probably real. I saw Joshua knock out Francis Ngannou, and the guy was like out cold for 5 minutes. And this is a guy who had never been knocked down, let alone knocked out.
If he steps in the ring with him, and actually a bell rings and there are punches thrown, every bit of Jake Paul is not a real boxer conversation is gone forever.
Spencer Oliver says Anthony Joshua may treat the Jake Paul fight as a warm-up and an easy payday. He admits fans might not like it because it is focused on entertainment instead of real competition. Oliver says Joshua is looking for tougher challenges at this point in his career. The fight makes financial sense for Joshua, but it does not push his abilities. Jake Paul brings attention, but Joshua's experience and skill make him the obvious favorite. This matchup is about popularity more than testing AJ.
Well, Anthony Joshua was talking about winning warm-up fights before going into bigger fights, but look, it's prize fighting at the end of the day, and the way that Joshua will see it, and Matchroom and all the team, the fans won't like this, by the way.
I don't like it.
No, I don't like it either. But the way that Joshua will see it is as a money grab. He'll see it as an easy money grab. But at this stage of his career, is it a fight he should be taking?
The Wave Concept says Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul are close to finalizing a heavyweight fight on Netflix in Miami. The fight comes after Jake Paul's exhibition with Gervonta Davis was cancelled due to allegations against Davis. Joshua's name adds real credibility while Jake Paul joins for attention and entertainment. Fans understand it is more of a spectacle than a true contest. The event is designed to be high profile, and Joshua is expected to dominate, making it nearly impossible for Jake Paul to compete with a former heavyweight champion.
Coppinger, Anthony Joshua, and Jake Paul are finalizing a deal for a heavyweight fight on Netflix in December in Miami, sources tell The Ring's Mike Coppinger. Paul steps up to fight former heavyweight champion after his exhibition with Gervonta Davis.
Showbiz says Anthony Joshua is experienced and has handled big challenges before. Jake Paul has no heavyweight background and no amateur experience, so facing Joshua is not a real risk in terms of skill. Jake Paul has only fought a few professionals and even lost to Tommy Fury, proving he is far from the level of a world-class champion. Fans know this fight strongly favors Joshua, and it is unlikely Jake Paul has any real chance to win. The matchup is built on hype rather than true competition.
Jake Joshua. And why would Anthony AJ Joshua take this fight in Jake Paul? Here's the thing. That shouldn't confuse you either. It ain't like Anthony AJ Joshua has never done this before. Taking on Jake Paul, who has had no heavyweight experience, no amateur background, has only fought a handful of professional boxers, one in which Tommy Fury defeated him.
The Anthony Joshua vs. Jake Paul fight is one of the most talked about matchups in recent boxing history and carries a lot for both fighters. Anthony Joshua can prove his skill, power, and experience still stand strong even against viral names entering heavyweight boxing. A win would reinforce his dominance and silence critics questioning his choices. If Jake Paul somehow pulls off an upset, it would be historic and launch him into worldwide fame. But matching Joshua's elite level would take an almost impossible performance. Mentally, Joshua is stronger and more driven, and it is clear he wants this fight to show his superiority. Fans now must choose who they support, and they can join the discussion by commenting and sharing their predictions. Are you backing Anthony Joshua or do you believe Jake Paul can shock the world?